Okay, here we are, almost here live. Let's check out if everything is all right and see if we do have our live and picture. Yep, that's pretty good. So we are live, everyone. Hello there. You are watching the tuning to shortwave bands from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and we are broadcasting on YouTube Live. So today the idea behind this show is to, tune around the shortwave bands. And that's pretty much it. So I was just listening to the BBC World Service. They had of course, special broadcast on 7445 that just ended with the Donald Trump inauguration as U.S. president. It's kind of interesting to listen to that. So, hey everyone, welcome to the show. We will tune around the bands. Let's hope that conditions are going to be good. I'm just going to check the indices here, dx.qsl.net. Solar flux of 80, that's not too bad, higher than it's been in the past. K index of 1, I think tonight should be pretty cool for tuning around. So let's hope that propagation is with us. Lately we've been having crappy propagation on our shows, and that was kind of sad. But hey, here we are. So hey, hello there, Bobby Burgess. Nice to have you on board. DX Place from Belgium, hello there. And Richard Cook, Gerald, welcome. Jasianek from New Jersey. Scotty Tier 6, hello there. From Toronto. And we're not sunny here in Montreal, rather cloudy, but not cold. It's plus 3 Celsius. Not too bad. Here there, Bullfrog 89, KD2CXU, checking in from the shores of Lake Ontario, St. Lawrence River. Cool. Hello there, Edward Paisley, DX, hello there. Hi Mapper, nice to have you here. Simple Electricity in the Czech Republic, hello there. Vensterbank from the Netherlands, Kaspar Kazahubu from Germany. Nice to have everyone here. We'll be tuning around shortwave and, of course, checking out our different stations that we can hear today. So hope everybody is going to have a great time. And if you have a signal, something you'd like me to try out, tune in. Yep, I will be happy to tune in. Hello there, Mike Bott. Nice to have you on board. And nice to have everybody here. So today I got a little beer from a different beer. It's one that I've had in the past, which is Don de Dieu, which means gift from God, 9%. Very fruity. It tastes fruity. It's amazing, and it doesn't feel that it's a 9% brew. I can tell you that just by the taste. Pretty amazing. Jeff, KD5QDO, hello there. Tom A, good evening from Southwest UK, and glad the weekend is here. Cool. Not bad at all. And, I think a lot of people are glad that the weekend's arrived. XN80Xer, hello there. Good afternoon from Northwest Arkansas. Sunny, windy, and 64 Fahrenheit. That's pretty warm. Pretty warm. 12160. 12160.
Or from one party to another.
It's the inauguration of Trump, as we hear here on 12160 right now.
Giving it back to you, the people.
With a rather strong signal, but Bobby, propagation is like that. Remember that shortwave radio is not you hear it today, you hear it tomorrow. It's you might hear it today, you might not hear it tomorrow. depending on propagation, the way the signal propagates everywhere, you might not hear 12161 at one time. Here it's giving a pretty good signal right now.
That's what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is found.
So pretty cool. Bullfrog 5150 Pirate. Let's check it out. 5150. Yeah, it's there, but seems weaker than usual here. But it's there with some music. It's in the noise, but I hear it with some music. 5150 Pirate Station. Yeah, I broadcast a lot lately. He's there very, very often. It's pretty pretty amazing. Hey, Mad Boy, nice to have you here, and pretty cool. So it does happen. Like I said, that propagation sometimes ain't working for some part of the world. Let's try a little something. I want to see if I can hear one of the Texas FM repeaters. FM. Yep, nothing here right now. The propagation is probably rather low in its maximum usable frequency today. So hello everybody. Nothing much happening in the 15 meter band. So I guess we're going to check out a little lower. Hello, Jim. Hello there. Zagorj28 from Sweden. Hello there. Nice to have you on board from Sweden. Nice crowd from many different countries around the world. That's pretty cool. And I think we're going to have some fun tonight tuning around shortwave. And a lot of people are there to actually, it was funny because yesterday yesterday had a live show. We have a new show called From the Couch with my nephew, and on YouTube. And some people are saying, hey, would you mind doing like a full day of live shows, because I want to watch you, not Trump. So it's I guess when I look at the comments, I look at everybody talking about it. Well, I'm not going to talk about politics because it's always a bad subject to talk about. But it's either you hate or you like. There's nobody that's indifferent. It's really you totally hate or you totally like, but you're not in between. So that's pretty much what we see with Trump. Hey, TOT, nice to have you on board. And yeah, I'm pretty good. And almost a hectic day today. A lot of things to do, and arrived to do the live show like last minute, pretty much last minute before I started. And so hopefully we're going to wind down and take it easy now listening to Shortwave. Remember, guys, it's your last chance to hear Radio Australia for in the next 11 days, January 31st. We have shutdown of Radio Australia, which is very, very, very sad, unfortunately. So check it out. If you're in North America, the mornings, your mornings around 8, 9, 10 a.m. East Coast more like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. 9580 kilohertz is the frequency for Radio Australia. And of course, it's really, kind of the last few days of a station that I will never forget. I've got many QSL cards, and hopefully, it's sad, but really no last minute reversal of the decision. It seems that they are off, and that is that. So it's sad to see them go. As Richard says, he gets Australia on 12065. In Europe, that's a frequency that seems to be a pretty good one for Radio Australia. So yeah, there's a lot of protests against the shutdown of Radio Australia's shortwave service. I really, really think they're doing a huge mistake by doing that. But hey, when we say money talks, well, that's, I think, mostly a decision about money. So let's tune around the radio bonds. and see what's on air. Let's start. We're going to tune in the 17 meters amateur band and go into the 16 meter band. See what we can hear. Really nothing much here. And trying to tune around. Really having nothing much in the higher frequency ranges right now. I have all sorts of new bells and whistles in the sounds of my shortwave radio. Since the new neighbors moved in just below me, there's all sorts of noises that weren't there before on the shortwave bands. Really sad because I have the impression that I'm soon I'll have to listen from somewhere else than my location. It's getting too noisy with time. It's just amazingly noisy now. So really sad. So 15825 WWCR out of Nashville, Tennessee, United States of America. One of those easy to receive stations. So 15825 is WWCR.
Called a doctor who immediately came over there. He did a thorough examination on this guy, and he said, well, all right, we'll answer this call and continue the story later. Good evening, you're on the air. Well, anyway, the doctor looked at him very thoroughly. He said, well, I'll tell you what. If it hadn't been for this mattress pad, this gentleman would have died because that was a blood clot that disintegrated in him and liquefied and came out because of those magnetic fields. It saved his life. That's what the doctor said. It surprised me. It surprised him.
Probably Bullfrog 89 talking about his antenna that he's connected. He says that he made it. He shortened the wire antenna connected to 9.1, made about 20 feet. Seems to have helped, but probably you're being more resonant, so maybe that's why it's helping.
Right after another keeps happening. That is really almost too good to be.
Mike Bott parked on the Voice of Greece, 9420 kilohertz.
It was told to me by our distributor Ray McCutcheon this afternoon on the phone, and the man in Florida is okay. Another call from a gentleman today whose wife was suffering from severe arthritis in her feet and ankles, had a great deal of problems walking. She got a pair of insoles from another company. I'm not going to mention their name, but she got them. And in 2 weeks' time, her feet were just killing her. It was worse than it had ever been. Her ankles were blazing sore. And she finally decided from...
Hello there, Salman Hamad. Nice to have you on board.
And within a short space of time...
Start to zero in on us. Be like that.
Assisted with by Vice President Pence will make.
Hello there, Jose Luis Pena, EC4TR. Nice to have you on board.
That are made are not politically practical and so on.
WEWN from United States on 15610.
If you're not in the halls of power, pray. Pray for the individuals, not just in the administration, such as the president, vice president, but in the Congress. They have the burden of office too. And I know that as a citizen, I haven't been happy with a lot of the decisions of the previous administration.
Richard Cook says that Voice of Korea is on 6170 for him. James Megawatt, good evening. Nice to have you on board from ON7JLF.
The church were...
Or GLF. Should I say I said J when it's G?
In peace and the things which, which...
So, Oscar November 7, Golf, Lima, Foxtrot.
To be able to create here on...
Hey there, Mad Radio DX, sir. Hello there.
Perfectly. And continue to work for them.
at the risk of losing my life. And they told me.
WJHR in Milton, Florida on 15555 upper sideband.
They said, all right, sunrise in the morning. After this court martial, sunrise in the morning. He was a part of what they were part of. But on the side, he was doing something that broke down the morale of that army. He was doing some things that caused others to begin to doubt and to begin to get weak and to begin to get faint-hearted. And that can happen here. You see, we believe the Word of God. We believe salvation is by grace. We believe we're saved by the amazing grace of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. We believe in what God says about the church and what He says about His precious Word and what He says about sin and judgment and what He says about prophecy and His soon return.
Hey there, Space Lobster, aka SLNY8. You just reminded me that I forgot to log into the IRC chat room, where there might be some people around. I'm getting used to using that YouTube chat all the time, and I'm forgetting to log into. Okay, here we go. Sorry if anybody was here. So hello everyone from the IRC chat that was not in the YouTube room. Hello everyone, Mbot and Mad Boy, and that's on the other chat also, but I believe PLF is probably here, and I was not looking and monitoring that chat room, so hello everyone. Forgot to log in, sorry.
Stand against the wiles of the devil.
Not very strong, but Radio Havana, Cuba on 15370.
Has declared in Madrid that a new...
Pretty good signal from Radio Havana, Cuba in English on 15140. Hello there, John Ritson. Nice to have you on board. As they say, better late than never. Radio Havana, Cuba, English 15140.
Figure, given the many challenges and threats to this activity, as expressed in terrorist attacks in European nations, which are emblematic receivers of tourists every year. One of the affected nations is France, a goal for visitors around the world that severely affected its tourist industry. France suffered in the past 2 years several terrorist attacks, and just in Paris, the number of visitors dropped by 1.3 million last year. Extremist groups, such as the so-called...
Hey, Mr. Roman, nice to have you on board. Also want to say hello to Scott and 5XTC.
Focus their terrorist attacks on hotels, airports, recreation centers, museums, and other such civilian installations. Tourism is now in the front line of this confrontation, said Rifai, and added that terrorism is a world threat and demands a global response. Tourism also suffered several other inconveniences since economic disturbances affected raw materials exporting countries, particularly those that trade in energy, while the United Kingdom abandoned the European Common Market, a decision that has raised quite a few questions about the future. The Asia and Pacific regions led the tourist growth after recovering from a slight recession and received over 300 million visitors. Africa.
Bonjour VE2EIV, hello there VE2EIV, nice to have you on board.
Equally, perhaps because of the negative
So this is Radio Havana, Cuba in English on 15140.
Of that continent.
Yep, there's more and more. Actually, I now have the majority of viewers are using the YouTube chat now, rather than using the IRC chat room. I think it's, everybody's at the same place. but I think it's still important to keep an eye on the IRC chat room for sure. Well, that's one thing I never want to hear. When somebody says shortwave is dead, and I don't listen because shortwave is dead, I always tell myself, well, that's because you ain't listening enough. There's always something to listen to. And thanks for the nice comment. As Space Lobster says, shortwave is not as busy as it used to be. There's still some good stuff to hear. That's for sure. What's been the most interesting or enjoyable signals you've received? Wow, there's a lot of things that I enjoyed listening a lot. I've had some really cool signals from amateur radio operators, that were from exotic locations. Signals a few signals that will always remember. A IC's rescue on a maritime frequency. You could almost feel the tension from people that were stuck aboard a boat that was on fire in the Atlantic Ocean. That's something in my memory I'll never forget. Last year, 2 years ago, I heard a air rescue. There was a guy having a heart attack aboard a plane, and I was receiving that while I was in the D expedition at Perry Island. That was kind of unusual. And anything new, anything when I started listening to shortwave the first months, the amazement at receiving these signals from all over the world, all of that is pretty amazing.
Lopez Rivera being released. His continued imprisonment was opposed by the Puerto Rican community in the United States, in Puerto Rico, and elsewhere. Among those actively demanding his release were 10 Nobel Peace Prize winners: the widow of Martin Luther King, the now deceased Coretta Scott King, President Jimmy Carter, Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, Senator Bernie Sanders, as well as an international coalition of human rights and religious, labor, and business organizations.
Hello there, JR.
Congress.
Good evening. Nice to have you on board.
In Cuba, his liberation was also strongly demanded by organizations and outstanding personalities. Ricardo Alarcón, former president of the Cuban National Assembly, had asked that President Obama release the Puerto Rican nationalist.
President Obama is about to finish his mandate, and it's high time for him to put back from prison to their families and their homes individuals such as Oscar Lopez Rivera. Oscar had been incarcerated for a very, very long time, in spite of the fact that 20 years ago, President Bill Clinton recognized that the sentence imposed upon him was excessive. If it was excessive,
This is the BBC in Hausa, which is an African language, to West Africa from Ascension Islands. Not very strong, but it's there. BBC World Service on 15105 in an African language.
what is the universal God?
WWV time signal on 15 megahertz. So we're on the 20-meter amateur radio band here.
For Yankees as well. So what about mooring facilities? Typically they're deep water moorings, or do you have? I would imagine you're quite advanced on that so-called.
Hello there, QAM Radio, Andre. Nice to have you on board. And well, you know, it's I love this speaker. It's a good speaker for communications.
Over the side of the ship, a lighter goes out, picks it up, and they come back in, and they can't tie up alongside.
Hey, Richard in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome.
And then the crane reaches out over the ocean, plucks the item or the vehicle or the container off the lighter and lifts it onto the shore. Vehicles are processed in the same way as well. But I would imagine that, of course, you're much more advanced than we are, and you probably would have full docking capabilities ever.
Guy has an accent. Wondering where he's from. Maybe some European station or something. Interesting. And yep, 5150 kilohertz. The relay station is on the air on 5150 kilohertz. So if you guys want to listen to the pirate signal, wasn't very strong earlier, but I'll try regularly and see if it gets better here. So always fun to have these stations around. And in a few weeks, I'll have another special shortwave show on pirates, and hopefully we'll have a few pirates that will retransmit my broadcast. That'd be cool again. So in a month and a half's time, we'll check that out.
Yeah, you're a lot more advanced than we are. Tristan da Cunha, which is Ula Delta 9, which is the world's remotest inhabited island, 1,700 miles, 1,730 miles southwest of St. Helena. They're much the same as us, deep water anchorage. And of course, when you come ashore, you have to jump ashore from the ship onto the jetty. You've got to wait for the rise and the fall of the boat for things to get level, and then you've got to jump. So I would imagine that you're not quite as what's the word? Not basic. There's a word that would define that explanation. But yeah, you're much more technologically advanced, I guess. We're still living like it was in the 60s, Simon.
I wonder where that guy is. He's talking about St. Helena and everything. I don't know if he's from there, but that's interesting. I'm curious to know where he's from. Pretty interesting. And for the two person that are asking, yep, I'm on a Don de Dieu, which means a gift from God, a 9% beer. Pretty good actually. From the same company that makes the Fin du Monde. So no problem, Cool AM Radio. That'd be pretty cool, and we're gonna try something. Bullfrog 89 and Seaway for the VHF frequencies. When boats use VHF frequencies on the Seaway, it is around 156, 157 megahertz.
Or is it absolutely protected? Is it inside a breakwater of it?
So that's pretty much where they hang out on the VHF range. But there's less and less communications coming out in the VHF range from the boats. I still have the ones here in the Seaway that have to ID to the Coast Guard, but not a lot. Not a lot of them, and that's pretty interesting. There's less comms in the VHF range for maritime stuff than there was in the past. So here I think one of the frequencies is 156.500 is the main frequencies. So between 156 and 157, you'll have some VHF maritime stuff if you scan around there all the time. Help John, real beer at 9%.
Not so here.
Yep, beer from heaven.
So I'm never prepared for the South Atlantic Islands. You can tell the islanders, of course, they're so used to operating their boats in tidal conditions. There's no protected harbor for the boats. All the boats are on rope mooring spans in deep water, and they've got a fore and aft mooring. That's the local boats, the local fishing boats and pleasure boats and so forth. It's a fore and aft mooring, and usually they lay their own anchors, and their anchors will usually consist of truck engines or big truck parts or something like that. There's some heavy component on the bottom is acting as an anchor. So that's that. The anchorage is open water, and the harbor is open water, and the landing steps are open water as well. So it can be very rough, and it can be very calm. It can be so calm it's like a mill pond. And the interesting thing is that I think it was 2011, we had the P&O Arcadia, the big P&O liner Arcadia come in, and was alongside the steps, the landing steps, and what's he called? There was not the captain. There's another captain as well on board. It's the guy who determines whether the passengers come off or not. I can't think. The staff captain. The staff captain stood on the jetty on the landing steps for 2 hours, while the crew, one of the
guy is talking about the South Atlantic Ocean. I'm wondering if that guy is not on in St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic. Anybody else picking him up? 14310 upper sideband. Hey there, PD0 PMS from the Netherlands. Nice to have you on board.
The passengers were absolutely irate. I mean, many of them had taken that leg.
Hello there, Alex Canavos. Hello, William Helms. Nice to have you on board, as usual.
Coming ashore is too rough. I mean, it was the absolute calmest. I took many photographs that day, not knowing their decision, of course, but it was such. I learned it afterwards that he said no, and the company would have saved about £30,000 by not letting the passengers off. £30,000 that the passengers had paid to actually, that would have been in landing fees alone, maybe more, but I reckon about 30,000 that they would have saved. But those were the calmest conditions I've ever experienced it. And of course, on the flip side of that, I've seen tenders operating in rather turbulent conditions. The Princeton Dam, the Hollander America Line, Princeton Dam, they've had tenders where the bollards and the rub strake have been totally ripped off the tenders, fore and aft, and they still continued to operate. Of course, they never came back again, but that put them off coming back to the island, which is such a shame. But the tender operators are to be congratulated because they're not really they're not trained for operating in tidal conditions. Much the same, I suppose, for people operating in your part of the world. Your locals get so used to operating in local conditions that no matter what the weather, they can come alongside. Much the same as our Islanders. Most of the boats here are just single engine, single screw. And, the local operators can come alongside those landing strips in heavy weather and still not manage to get the boat thrown up on the steps. They're really brilliant. And unfortunately, some of the tender operators are meant for operating in your conditions, but none of it, absolutely a closed breakwater almost, and no pond conditions. Their biggest mistake, of course, as you can see it, is that, you get a 100-passenger tender in or a 90-passenger tender in, and they'll tie the boat up. They'll tie the boat up fore and aft, rigid, really, really, really tight. And of course, the tidal surge is sweeping the entire boat, the passenger's back and fore, and you can hear the rope singing in time. So one or the other's going to have to break. It's either the rope breaks, the bollard on the shore.
That time you're waiting for a station to ID and give its call letters. Hello there, Roger.
Because
yeah, possible from South Africa. Wouldn't be surprised.
Part of the problems of operating in tidal conditions. And of course, St. Helena is full tidal conditions. Okay, Juliet 88 Delta Tango, Z7 Victor Charlie, over.
Yeah, the guy's from St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic Ocean. St. Helena. That is so cool. We don't hear St. Helena very, very often. I do believe it's Zulu Delta 7 Victor Charlie that he said. If I'm not mistaken. Zulu Delta 7 Victor Charlie. That's Bruce, and he's in St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic Ocean. You guys remember Radio St. Helena when they were on once a year? That is something we don't hear very often. I love it when we get these rare catches like that when we're doing the live show. It's just so cool and just so much fun. Ain't something that you hear every day. Right? St. Helena. I haven't heard St. Helena on ham bands in more than a year, probably, I'd say. It's been a while. I think last time I heard, the last time I heard a station from St. Helena, it was on my D expedition. So really nice catch we are having here. But St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic Ocean. Hey there, SG2 East Nebraska. Nice to have you on board. Says just barely hear a signal. Mike Bott got the signal in Central Ohio. Richard in Atlanta is receiving it also. Kind of cool. And nice to have a nice DX. Nice DX. At first I thought it could be some kind of European. I was kind of thinking of a, it's not totally the same, but, a Swedish amateur that speaks English or something like that. They often have kind of heavy accent, or a Norwegian or from Finland. Some of them have heavy accents, and I was thinking maybe a Nordic country or something.
With budgetary proposals, they have to go through various heads of departments, and they need to have meetings and executive meetings, and oh, good golly, we've got those. We're inundated with those. Of course, the end result is no, we can't do it, or it's filed on someone's desk, awaiting attention, and it just never gets it. So I suppose you also have the same sort of problems there with government personnel there. So what is your, who are you going to try? I mean, we're one of Britain's 14 overseas territories, like Montreal is one, the Caicos is another, Cayman Islands, and there's a few more. Of course, Tristan da Cunha is Fijian Island, St. Helena, and a few more. But who's, which major, I mean, are you governed by, you're not French territory, obviously, you're not British, you're not. I don't know. What colony do you come under, over?
Richard, 9390 might be Radio Thailand. 9390, I'm not sure, but I think they have an English broadcast at this time to Europe. Really nice to have some nice DX. It shows that propagation is not too bad today. It's different from, the few last times we tuned the band with propagation, which was horrible. It's kind of impossible to receive anything unique. So this is St. Helena Island, South Atlantic Ocean.
Since 1979, is that right, over?
And I gotta say, I'm all excited. I love it. When I find something like that, it's like, oh, so cool. And it makes me, think about when we had the Radio St. Helena Day every year in October or November, and that we were listening in on 11092.5. That was so cool to have Radio St. Helena every year. I miss that. That was so cool. That was some of the fun parts of Shortwave. Everybody would gather around on that weekend and listen in, and they would broadcast to the world using the maritime station frequency of 11092.5 upper sideband, and they would rebroadcast the medium wave station from St. Helena Island. That was so cool with Radio St. Helena once a year.
Juliet 8 Delta Tango, D7 Victor Charlie. Yeah, so you were in a rather unique position in head of your relevant authority there. So, yeah, well done on that. And you've probably done more than most of us. Well, I suppose even more than probably most of your own islanders, just through being in a particular job at that exact time. So, yeah, well done. And of course, prime minister from you, Sylvester. Yeah, so, interesting. I've learned a lot. Like I said, I live on a remote island, but I think remote islands, even if they're not remote, islands, in general, are unique in every way. Each one is an individual, and the islanders, of course, are just as unique, each and every one of them. So, yeah, I doubt I'll ever get there. It would be nice to visit the chain of Caribbean islands, but I very much doubt I'll probably move off this island anytime. Wonders never cease, as I say. But it's always exciting, of course, and very well visited, I guess. You get probably hordes and hordes of visitors, per annum. Going back to St. Helena, we've just had an airstrip built here, but there's been too much wind shear and too much turbulence for non-commercial aircraft to land.
See you soon, Delta 2 DR. And there's another Shortwave show tomorrow, by the way, 2000 UT. Hello there, Flora and Instacell. We're listening to a station from St. Helena Island, South Atlantic Ocean. Hello there, David Snyder, Paul A. Steckler.
The airstrip was shortened. It wasn't very long, but it was shortened again so as not to interfere with the habitat of the wirebird. It's a bird that's unique to St. Helena. At the cost of the wirebird, we now have an extremely short landing strip, and the concept of some spiders. We've got some black widow spiders. Well, they couldn't orientate the landing strip through their habitat, so they put it along the edge of the cliff. So our wirebirds and our spiders are worth $285.5 million. They've rendered the airstrip almost useless, but there it is. Good for go-kart racing if nothing else happens. There's Sylvester. Juliet 8 Delta Tango, said D7, Mr. Charlie.
And thanks for the promotion, Andre. Cool AM. Always nice. And thank you, everyone. I see a lot of you sharing my Twitter feed and everything. Thanks all for the good work you guys are doing, propagating the news that I exist.
Will be Zanzibar, Denmark, 7, Victoria, Canada, over.
Rob Wagner, hello there from Mount Evelyn, Australia. Nice to have you on board. And really amazing to have this station from St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic Ocean. Zulu Delta 7, Victor Charlie. I think it's pretty good propagation. Hello there, Albert Tatlock. Nice to have you here. And yeah, the FRG7, Michael Bott, does have an amazing sound. There are a few of those old receivers that have amazing sound.
Rally a few more up and shaken from the seams of the fabric of Macquarie Island or St. Vincent, please do.
Well, I don't exist, Cool AM. I'm all virtual.
They're pretty rare down in our neck of the woods, so yeah, lots of work to do. Okay, Julian 88, Charlie Delta, Zulu Delta 7, Victor Charlie. Any copies on over?
This is so cool. So cool. You know, when I get on one of those frequencies where there's stations that's very that's very unique, you don't hear very often. I always get stuck there.
Uniform Charlie Echo Group, and I'm on the tiny and very remote island of St. Helena, and the IOTA number is Alpha Foxtrot 022, over.
Yep, everything's virtual here. Well, let's continue on and see if there's other stations on the 20-meter band.
Victor Echo Papa, 7-3 from Charlie Fox 7 Delta Papa. Whiskey 2, Whiskey Charlie Mike, Bill, you're 59, over. Yes, sir. I'm about 250 miles east of Vancouver and 50 miles north of the Canada-U.S. border. Over.
This station has a special call sign, which is Charlie Foxtrot 7, and this is a special call sign for the 150th birthday of Canada's Confederation.
7-3 from
He's
Charlie
in-
Fox 7 Delta Papa.
He's in British Columbia, Canada.
Station of Bravo. Okay, I need to get the call. Is it kilowatt Papa 2 something? Alpha Alpha 4 November kilowatt, is that right?
November Papa 4 Bravo Papa. Always Peter.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just not getting your call. Give it to me 3 times, please. There's a lot of QSB on the frequency.
Hello there, Shortwave guest 86 UP. Nice to have you on board.
Fine. I need your call again if you want it in the log. Go ahead.
James Megawatt, you know what I do to, I used to do to QSL AM operators. You know what you could do is on the QRZ.com website, if you install the app on your phone, because if you're not an amateur operator, you don't. If you're an amateur operator, you can receive the email of AM radio operators on that site. If you don't, install the QRZ.com app on your phone. And there you will see the email of a station. So now you just search for example, Zulu Delta 7 Victor Charlie. It's going to give you the email address you can contact him. Two things you can do. Send him an email, say that you received him and that, you'd like a QSL, how to work it out. Some ham stations just send it out and they don't ask for nothing. But the best thing to do is to create yourself a little card, even if it's just a postal card, and give them a little something. Put a little something to have at least a return, because it costs. Most of these people are like you and me, so it costs money to send out mail. By doing putting maybe a few US dollars in the envelope or something, you can actually probably receive a QSL card direct from that station. So there's a few ways to do that. But I used to what I would do, I would send out a email most of the time. I'd say that I heard that station, that I was a shortwave listener. I'd put my mailing address, but I was not asking for a QSL back because I knew that it cost money. And surprisingly, I'd say one out of 7 or 8 AMs that I sent an email actually sent me a QSL through the mail. So, but the best I would say is you go on QRZ.com, you get their postal address, and you send them a postcard with a few dollars in the envelope, and he's probably proudly gonna send you back a QSL. Let him know that you received them, what time, what date, what frequency, and how strong it was coming in and everything. And he's going to be happy to send you a QSL probably.
Good on getting back on the air, Irving.
So this is... well, what you need to know, because what happens is, for example, that station is in the St. Helena Island. So, of course, he has a call sign. And yes, having his call sign is required because it proves that you really received him. One, it's also by using the call sign, you can find his profile on QRZ.com. And just say that, just give him the details of what time, what date, what frequency. And if you send it through mail, send him maybe a few US dollars to pay for the postage and the envelope to return that QSL back to you. And that's all. It's as easy as that. Not every amateur radio operators will send a QSL card, but some do. And if he said that he wants to send out some, it's probably going to send you one.
Siglabert, I think we got a pipeline into Ohio, the central states. How did you weather that snowstorm that went through, or the ice storm, I should say?
Yeah, that is something that is, of course, an interesting comment here, but true. Like Bullfrog89 says, send for a QSL if you receive him direct from where you live on your radio, but not through, a video from me. That would be kind of not really, cool, because you didn't really receive the station. If you receive the station at home on a radio yourself, no problem. Yeah, some can some have EQSLs also. Some are going like PD0 PMS says, going through EQSL.cc.
Thank you very much for contact, and we're clear with Kilo Charlie 1 India Hotel there in Florida, and this is KD0, Victor Echo Papa. We'll be clear, and we'll see us why. YJ1SCP. Okay, Juan. Okay, very good, very good. If you ever want to change location, you come to my location and I come to your location. You can get in the snow and I'll get that summer weather you have. Wow, you take care. I'll get back over to Jack. This is a BS Net. Perhaps many more stations would love to say hello to you. Have a good weekend. Thank you. 72. Don't you get your one box?
Yeah, you're F7 up here in the northwest corner of Montana. My sister lives down there by Dallas, Fort Worth, somewheres. Roanoke, I think, is the name of the town. Her husband and son work for American Airlines. Over.
I used to go there every summertime, Bob. I would go out there with my brother, and we would hunt prairie dogs up about 150 miles north of Billings, like you were going to Malta, in a place called Royton, Montana. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I enjoy Montana, but I don't think I could take the winter times here, Bob. Go ahead.
November Sierra called, and I thought, well, I probably missed Delta Kilo 9.
And St. Helena Station has a great signal here.
Kilo 9, November Sierra, come back, and he came back, Victor Kilo 9. I heard Victor Kilo 9 the first, and I thought, no way. And he came back here, and he said, it's Victor Kilo 9, November Sierra. And right away, from reading various publications, I knew that it was Jim Smith, but I really thought it was somebody having me on. I never believed that, St. Helena Island could ever work Norfolk Island. Well, and, it's possible, but I've never heard him, and up until that time, and in 10 years of operation, I began operation in 1988, and this was in 1998, and I thought, well, there's no way that I would hear Norfolk Island, and I thought it was actually one of the fellow hams on the island turning his power right down and, putting on a bit of an accent. And, but anyway, it turned out to be the real McCoy. It was Jim himself, and we, like you and I, had a couple of hours long QSO comparing islands and governments and that sort of stuff. And the other thing is that we grow, or used to, and I think we still do actually, we have a Norfolk Island pine tree. It grows about 200 feet tall, and it came from Norfolk Island. So, that was quite an interesting thing for Jim to know as well. And so we had a very, very interesting QSO. It was so interesting, we made a sketch for the next day, and I never heard Norfolk Island ever again. That was it. And then I learned, sadly, that Jim had passed away a couple of years ago. I don't know, it was 2004 or 2009, something like that. So, but anyway, good QSOs like this are relatively hard to come by, ever.
Yeah, links are not allowed in the chat room. It's a rule from YouTube. But on change.org there's a Radio Australia petition to try to keep, but it's sad. It's sad. Unfortunately, doesn't seem that nothing will happen. Let's check out a few things. So you're watching the Shortwave Tuning the Bands on Friday. And we are every Fridays having a show at 2000 hours UTC. Last week was an exception because I was having tech duties. So we have, of course, this show every 2 weeks where we tune around the shortwave bands together. We're a great gang in the chat room. Also, tomorrow, 2000 hours UTC, we are also going to have a live show. Tomorrow, we're going to continue talking of what we started last time about solar activity, the impact it has with the propagation, and have a little more information on propagation, kind of for the newbie, because I think propagation is a misunderstood thing for pretty much every new shortwave listener. And maybe you'll have a better idea of why sometimes you hear something and sometimes you don't. So you're watching this live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. My name is Gilles, and we have been now on for 1 hour and continuing to tune the bands. Let's check a few things. Let's check 5150 for the Pirate. Yep. Yep, Pirate Station 5150 relay is there. Let's check WBCQ 7490. Very weak to me. It's abnormal. It's rarely good to be because 7490 is in Monticello, Maine, and that is very close to Montreal. So 7490 often skips over my head. WBCQ. Let's check out 11635 for the Cuban numbers. A very good signal if you want to hear a number station from Cuba.
4, 1, 3, 5, 1.
Don't believe it, Richard. There is no new solar cycle that has started. We're in the decline of cycle 24. There's no new solar cycle that has started. We have not had reversal of sunspots or anything, polarity. We are still in the decline of cycle 24. So Cuban numbers. Cuban numbers. So let's go back to St. Helena a few seconds and then start tuning around.
So it's been a most enlightening QSO, and I do want to thank the majority of stations for standing by and giving me the opportunity to work so best. So I do thank you very much. Of course, there's the 1 and 2 callers, which unfortunately will always happen again. But Sylvester, thank you so much for the extended QSO, and I hope another afternoon or evening. I guess evening it probably isn't the very best of times because the propagation stops sailing around about 8 o'clock, but 8 o'clock my time, or it's nearly 8 o'clock anyway. But anything from 6 o'clock onwards probably be a good.
Yeah, there are some sunspots now, but that's normal. Solar activity, Richard, is always like that. We're in the declining phase, but we haven't started a new cycle. We're just having a few sunspots that appear, and even when you're in the lowest part of the solar cycle, sunspots appear from time to time and create more activity, and then they go away, and you're back in the slum. So like now we have a few sunspots that appear. Solar flux is higher, but they're going to go away in a few days or a week, and we'll be back with no sunspots.
QRZ.com, and just let me know that you've got a few more, or even if you haven't got a few more, even if you want to come up and have a chat, I'd love to indulge some of that. Particularly at 880 Delta Tango, this is Billy Delta for the Mixed Shopping event.
Scotty Jerry says turn it up, missing important mission details. I knew it. And so yeah, you guys are farther away from me than that from a WBCQ, so you guys get it better than me. It's pretty much skipping over me. So let's continue tuning down from 14 megahertz.
Some people come into temptation like a goose waking up in a new day. How?
WWCR 13845 kilohertz. That is a very strong signal here.
Started a day in 20. I repeat, pledging allegiance to the Lord and praying lest ye enter into temptation. Now, come on.
E arrendou a uns lavradores e partiu para fora da terra.
This is WTWW and I think it's Arabic on 12105.
Esse dos lavradores do fruto da vinha. Mas estes, apoderando-se dele, o feriram e o mandaram embora vazio. E tornou a enviar-lhes outro servo. E eles, apedrejando, o feriram na cabeça e o mandaram embora.
BBC World Service out of Ascension Islands in the South Atlantic Ocean on 12095.
Donald Trump went past the announcement that your president, Donald Trump, is coming past. And huge crowd. And people were looking around. And two big trucks came past. Sitting on the back, legs hanging off, taking photos of and then Donald Trump came along. A thumbs up. I could see Donald Trump's thumbs up.
David Snyder receiving 13845, 20 dB in Staten Island.
But I could see Donald.
Bullfrog amazed at receiving 7490, which he doesn't usually receive. That's propagation for you. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
En el matrimonio. En realidad, queridos oyentes, lo que hacemos como
WEWN 12050 is rather
y para conocer
problematic in its audio. William says 6925. Let's try 6925 to see. Yeah, there's a weak carrier on 6925, but it's too weak for me to receive anything.
Una mayor.
Moltes fortes queste condoglianze a suo omologo qui arrive al Mardek Atambayev.
It happens often. WTWW on 5085 that has some great music all evening. Bullfrog 89. I think it was on Tuesday night. I listened to the QSO radio show, which is always interesting. But they often have some great music in the evening. 5085, 11880, Radio Havana, Cuba.
Ont été tués lundi lorsqu'un avion cargo de la compagnie aérienne turque, TT Airlines, s'est écrasé au sol à 1,5 km.
This is in French.
Le nouveau chef de la diplomatie espagnole.
Richard in Atlanta is receiving 12095 S6. Richard Cook's receiving the ID of RWM on 4996.
Espagne internationale. Ainsi répondu à une question sur l'avenir des relations avec Cuba. Je cite, nous sommes unis à Cuba par une histoire et une affection singulière qui, bien entendu, vont plus loin
partout. Mais en ce cas particulier, les relations dépassent les liens politiques ou les divergences. Et nous allons œuvrer à la consolidation de relations pour améliorer chaque fois plus cette conflit. Nous allons essayer de travailler aussi avec les États-Unis pour que ce désordre se poursuive. Je crois que c'est avantageux pour les deux pays. L'Espagne, rappelons-le, est un des principaux partenaires.
Atlanta says 11880 S10.
D'hôtel dans notre pays. Le ministre espagnol des Affaires étrangères précédent, José Manuel García Margallo, a visité notre pays à deux occasions. Et l'Espagne s'est prononcée à maintes reprises pour la levée du blocus de Cuba par les États-Unis.
Des spécialistes de l'Aquarium national de Cuba et de l'Institut de la recherche sur le golfe de l'Extrême ont signé à l'Havane un mémorandum d'entente pour la protection des voies marines et des récifs de corail et pour la promotion de l'éducation environnementale. Signé par Maria de Los Angeles Bacano, directrice de l'Aquarium national de Cuba, et par Larry McKinnon, directeur de Arte, ce document contribuera à une coopération plus étroite entre Cuba et les États-Unis.
Oh, that's interesting, Bobby. It's a weird range for a receiver, 5500 kilohertz to 18250.
Talking about the rip. Vai trazer benefícios não apenas na área da mas também na área da defesa.
Radio Nacional Amazonia from Brazil in Portuguese on 11780.
A cidade de Dourados, no Mato Grosso do Sul, é a primeira a receber o centro do ciclone. A brigada foi coordenada ao Comando Militar do Oeste, que atuação numa faixa de 600 quilômetros entre o Paraguai e o Mato Grosso do Sul. O ministro da Defesa, Raul Guzmán, visitou o ciclone em Dourados e destacou a importância do projeto para o país.
A fronteira está distante fisicamente, mas a fronteira está mais do que nunca perto das nossas cidades, das nossas metrópoles. Porque é nelas e na defesa delas, na segurança delas, nós vamos conseguir reduzir esta onda de criminalidade, vamos conseguir combater aqui no seu início as drogas, o contrabando.
Really, man, Radio DXer, you made sure that you put it in 9 kilohertz mode, and it still didn't have long wave on the PL365. I thought the PL365 was pretty much the same as the Countycom GP5.
19 horas 13 minutos no horário brasileiro de verão.
Richard as in Atlanta, Georgia as 11780 S7 Plus.
Uma das obrigatoriedades para receber benefício é que a criança esteja mais.
Hey there, Stan Hulk. Bonsoir. Hello. Welcome. It's been a while since we've seen each other, and thank you for being here. Yeah, good holidays. It was really cool. Had a lot of fun.
Vai continuar respondendo as dúvidas dos nossos ouvintes sobre trânsito.
Oh, that is weird. And when you tune down from the medium wave band, it doesn't continue down to the long wave. That's weird. Huh. So that means they're not exactly the same.
Mato Grosso. Ele quer saber o motivo para a instalação de pontas lombadas eletrônicas nas rodovias.
Gostaria de saber por que tanta lombada eletrônica no meio das rodovias. Sou caminhoneiro e tenho a reclamar. Tem lombada eletrônica de 40, outra...
One step at a time, Bobby Burgess. You'll see. You start by small little radio, and in one day, if you got the money, buy something a little more expensive to receive shortwave if you still feel that it's interesting.
Especialmente em rodovias. Assim, a critério da autoridade de trânsito local, é necessário adotar alguma solução.
Okay, so maybe you're not doing it right because DX Play says his PL365 has long wave. That's weird. So you put it in 9 kilohertz and use the button to tune down. You should go down to below 500 kilohertz. That's weird. Hey, Steve P. in Australia, welcome aboard.
最重要的一只猫，世人法定的标准
土猫或是名种猫，丝毫不影响它们对它的爱。所以凯蒂每天很安逸地睡在我们家客厅的椅子上，幸福洋溢。有的时候我觉得自己就像是凯蒂，我是个平凡的家庭主妇，小时候貌不出众。
This is Madagascar World Voice in Mandarin to the Far East, I believe, on 11.610. This comes from Madagascar.
或是长相可爱的，都被老师一个一个选了去。我跟几个人孤单地站在那里，很困窘。长大了，成绩还可以，但绝对不是顶尖，也没有上名校。毕业几十年，同学大部分都功成。
Once I was talking to my first coach, or we could say my mentor. He told me, "You're such a crazy guy. I can see you building your own boxing academy here one day in the future." Since that moment, I've always had this thought in my head, and later on I told myself, yes, I'm crazy enough to do that. Now I'm past the stage of thinking about the project. I'm making it happen.
These days, Tommy Kid is looking for partners. We cross our fingers for him and hope that his efforts to build a facility where kids can spend their free time.
Radio Slovakia International via WRMI in English. So this is Slovakia via WRMI in English.
Has prepared our musical crossroads. Sit back and enjoy.
Musical Crossroads.
Welcome to another edition of Musical Crossroads, our feature about select singers, bands, and music. Today's Crossroads will, however, be dedicated to a man who didn't compose or perform music himself, but was the one who got people to listen to it. The first, so to say, select DJ, music show host, presenter, and author of many previous Musical Crossroads segments, our former Select Radio and Radio Slovakia International colleague Fero Hora. He passed away on the 16th of January 2017 at the age of 68.
I always look for some sort of melody. Even in modern music, I always follow the melody. I don't like music that sounds like it was produced by a sewing machine or artificially distorted voices. Anyone would record songs then. But I look for the melody, a light melody that's nice and easy to listen to. I don't want to be depressed when listening to music.
Stated Ferrara in an interview for the Select Radio. So let's listen to some of his favorite easy-to-listen-to tracks, such as this song from Ferrara's band, Pavel Hamo, and his band Goldie, Medulienka.
Let's check it out, Richard. I'm just going to go see if 4760 got something. It's very weak, but there is a carrier in the noise on 4760, Richard. That's radio teletype, Richard, in Atlanta. What I hear in 11686 is radio teletype. And I believe this one is an encrypted radio teletype.
Something could happen over there. We could be going along easy peasy, but something over there, and we'll feel the effects of it. So
this globalist system is like one of those old Rube Goldberg machines that are, if you can remember those cartoons.
WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee, USA on 9980 kilohertz.
We complicated, interrelated, and if one thing goes wrong, a lot of stuff, bad things can happen. I'm Alfred Addis here with Melody Cedarstrom on Financial Survival. We'll be back in a moment. Please stay tuned.
Hello there, Brett Wayne, KC2NXP. Nice to have you on board. And it's pretty cool to have everybody here. But I do believe, Richard, 11.686.87 is encrypted radio teletype. It's RTTY.
Traded, borrowed, purchased, and stolen. There is a reason for it. To secure the blessings of
yeah, that's why I kept the volume low, Mad Radio DXer.
gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188. Listen to Financial Survival with your host, Melody Cedarstrom.
De cuando sale el barco a faenar y durante todo lo que es
Radio Exterior de España, really good signal, 9690 kilohertz.
Un cocinero de prestigio de aquí que la costa, pues bueno, es algo que también, conforme he dicho, es un culminar este proyecto de Denia, Ciudad Creativa de la Gastronomía. Le faltaba poner música y ya la tenemos.
Ya tenemos de todo, música, gastronomía y buen ambiente en Denia. Vicent Grimal, alcalde de Denia, ha sido un placer y gracias por atender la llamada de la radio pública. Que vaya muy bien esta iniciativa.
Muchas gracias a vosotros.
Ha sido terrible.
Alacrana, 47 días de secuestro.
Nos dejaban encender la radio así, porque también a ellos les convenía, porque lo que ellos querían saber es lo que se hablaba en España.
A través de Radio Exterior, de las noticias que veíamos.
En un camarote de un senegalés que tenía radio.
Radio Nacional y Español en la Mar.
Erais casi la única fuente de información.
Españoles en la mar.
Yeah, here it's coming well. Yesterday I was playing with my GP5 SSB just before I started the show with my nephew, and I could hear it with using the telescopic antenna and a portable receiver. Really packs a great signal here.
Ruta y puertos que espera visitar. Infórmese de la previsión meteorológica de la zona donde pretende navegar. Evite la salida en caso de mal tiempo o mala visibilidad. Y deje siempre un teléfono y personas de contacto en caso de emergencia. Comunique igualmente cualquier cambio de destino.
Más consejos prácticos en salvamentomarítimo.es.
Very strong radar in the noise, but this is I believe 9650 is that station from Radio Guinea. It's not very strong, but it's there. Radio Guinea on 9650 kilohertz. Oh, that's interesting, the explanation. You know what? I'm going to try it out now and just listen. So you say that when you turn the volume at the lowest point, you actually have some noise. I'm going to try it out and I'm going to tell you in a few seconds the explains. But it's, you know, those cheap audio amplifiers.
Le président sénégalais Macky Sall qui donnait le président de la République de Guinée, le président du Parti de ramener ça. Je crois que le Sénégal a toujours voulu encourager justement la Gambie profite, moi je crois que le Sénégal a des points juste dans la Gambie, c'est pour que justement pour occuper la Gambie, parce que déjà le Sénégal ne sait pas comment le Sénégal c'est la là-bas.
So I can confirm that there's a lot of noise when I put the volume to 0 and I put the earbuds on the GP5. There's a strong white noise, kind of a hiss, and it's quite strong. It's surprisingly strong for what it is. But that's cheap audio amplifiers, pretty much. Radio Marti in the United States, but a lot of noise from the Cuban jamming. Yeah, no clock, Richard. I know. I need a clock. All India Radio 9445 in English. By the way, I can bet you that DX Place, there probably is a lot of cheap portable shortwave receivers that have that hiss on the earphones, even when the volume is low. So All India Radio 9445 kilohertz.
Uran is a game changer for Indian aviation. About 75 operational airports in this country. As a big year received from Iran, it appears that we will now have 43 new airports that will be joining our aviation network.
Well, even worse, Bullfrog. We were at more than 50 about 30 minutes ago. We've gone up to about 52, 53 30 minutes ago. And not everybody gives thumbs up. I actually got a few haters that even email me and tell me almost threatening things. Mostly idiots that don't understand anything.
Coming into that rhythm, shooting is 25 for 3, Yuvraj and Dhoni, then the team India out of trouble with a 256 run cross-wicket partnership. Indian India wins the form within 3 even for 50 overs. 27 balls which was 14 India 100. Then 6 with only 350.
The Iranians released all the Americans. You know why? Because they didn't know what.
This is True News out of WRMI in Okeechobee, Florida.
He was a cowboy, you know. And so they figured he was going to mount his horse and ride towards Tehran. And they released all the hostages on Inauguration Day. That was the change in the world.
It was awesome. I remember that story, that news story that broke, and we were cheering in school. I mean, it was just, it was just an amazing day.
Yes,
but it's nothing like I'm feeling now.
You were cheering in school. I was cheering at work.
And I got to say, these views are after a week.
Watched it, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, well, some people think that I don't know, I do be done or whatever, and so I just don't, I respect every rule, and what I do it because I know I can do it, and anyways, no time to spend talking about that. Nirudin Bazari, bonsoir, hello, welcome, and in Alger, 10:30 p.m. over there. Here it's 4:30 p.m. 16h30 ici à Montréal. So pretty, and the sun is setting in about 10 minutes from now, and it's cool because the days are the sun is setting a full 30 minutes later now than it was in December.
Only about 3 years old when Eisenhower was sworn in for his second term. So I don't remember that. I can remember. I still have memories of Eisenhower as president. But I don't have any memories of those speeches. But I do have memories of John F. Kennedy as a child. I remember his inaugural speech, and so we want to compare. I believe is the last great Democrat president. He couldn't win today as a Democrat. He'd have to run as a Republican.
Yeah, he could win a Democrat dog picture today.
Absolutely could not. John F. Kennedy could not.
Was I willing to give up that career, which was very good if God wanted me to stay there. But different times in the Bible, He asked people to make a transition. Amen? He's asked Abraham different times to make a transition.
WWCR, Nashville, Tennessee, USA.
Make a transition.
Yes, Richard.
Transition. If we're not willing to make a transition,
variable winds less than 10 knots, becoming southwest 5 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. Saturday, west to southwest winds 10 to 15 knots.
U.S. Coast Guard frequencies in Chesapeake, Virginia, with maritime weather broadcast, and lots of interesting stuff, Scotty, on the high frequencies, global command U.S. frequencies. Pretty nice. MFJ 1886 loop. I know a few people that have it that seem to say that it works pretty well. I've heard some good stuff about that loop antenna. Hello there, Jamiak, new to shortwave radio. I'd like to buy a receiver that would have the ability to be mobile and also have world listening. Depending on your budget, I can tell you that Texan receivers are great. Texan PL380, or if you want something a little more with a little more pep, a little bigger, Texan PL660, 680 are great receivers. You can get them on eBay easily.
20 knots late.
So this is the U.S. Coast Guard in Chesapeake, Virginia.
At 12 feet late. Tuesday night. Winds becoming west to northwest 15 to 20 knots. Seas 7 to 11 feet. Wednesday. West to northwest winds 15 to 25 knots. diminishing to west to southwest 10 to 20 knots. Seas 6 to 10 feet. Wednesday night. Southwest winds 10 to 20 knots.
Hey, Douglas Elliott, I'm glad. I'm happy to see that you've come back to Shortwave. Check the X3. I should do that, Coolingham. That'd be nice. I gotta say, oh man, if you guys would see what I receive sometimes, you'd go crazy.
Becoming west to northwest, less than 10 knots. Seas for to
7730, une station des États-Unis en Floride. WRMI. WRMI is on a 7730 kilohertz, I believe. Niruddin Mazari. And it's it's a station from it's a US privately owned commercial station, WRMI in Florida. And
becoming northeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas subsiding to 4 to 5 feet. Sunday night. Northeast winds increasing to 15 to 20 knots. Becoming east 20 to Monday. East winds increasing to 25 to 35 knots. Seas building to 10 to 14 feet. Monday night. East winds 30 to 14 knots. Becoming south to southeast 25 to 35 knots. Seas building to 13 to 18 feet. Tuesday. South to southeast winds diminishing to 10 to 20 knots. Seas subsiding to 10 to 13 feet. Tuesday night. Winds shifting to west 15 to seas 10 to 13 feet. Wednesday. West winds 15 to 25 knots. Seas 9 to 12 feet. Wednesday night. West to southwest winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas subsiding to 7 to 9 feet. South of New England. From the Great South Channel to Hudson Canyon, including the waters south of Martha's Vineyard.
Yes, Javier. If you live in a condo, living in an apartment complex, a condo, antennas not possible. It is always much more tricky to receive shortwave because you have a lot of noise. You might have a lot of noise around you from all sorts of devices. So that could be a challenge, and maybe you will need to go outside or go to a park, or you might not, depending on how it is. There are some places where it's very difficult to receive stations when you're inside. And that's the sad part of shortwave today, Jamiek. That's the sad thing. But, you might receive with just the telescopic antenna. And, why not when there's beautiful days out, take a walk to a park and have some listening with your radio. I often do that. It's pretty cool. So, it's pretty cool.
Monday night. East to southeast winds 30 to 14 knots. Becoming south to southeast 15 to 20 knots. Seas subsiding to 10 to 14 feet. Tuesday. South to southeast winds 5 to 15 knots. Becoming west to northwest 10 to 20 knots. Seas subsiding to 8 to 12 feet. Tuesday night. West to northwest winds increasing to 20 to 25 knots. Seas 7 to 11 feet. Wednesday. West to northwest winds 15 to 25 knots. Seas 6 to 10 feet. Wednesday night. Winds becoming southwest 15 to 25 knots. Seas 6.
From what I see here, Bobby Burgess, The PL380 and 390 seem to be pretty much the same radio, except the 390 has dual speakers instead of only one, and a line-in for listening to MP3s. But I would say that they're overall pretty much the same radio in general. I've got a PL380 here and I love it. It's an amazing receiver. So Richard received 3330 kilohertz. Yeah, they returned to the airwaves. They were off for a while because I did miss them, but yep, they are back. So this is once again the U.S. Coast Guard in Chesapeake, Virginia, Maritime Weather Broadcast.
Michigan 757 Iran KSF CNP 34 KWBC 20 to 116 OFFN 32 Marine Weather Rate Jet Voice Broadcast National Weather Service Ocean Prediction Center, Washington, D.C. for 16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, January 20, 2017. West, Central, North Atlantic, continental shelf, and slope waters beyond 20 nautical miles to 215 nautical miles offshore, including south of George's Bank from 1,000 fathom to 215 nautical miles offshore. Conditions given represent the highest within that period.
Or not. Exit procedures must.
Radio Romania International, 7375 kilohertz. Radio Romania International.
With Brussels and the European partners that are expected to launch newsreel.
You are listening to Radio Romania International. Focus on Romania. Next on Radio Romania International. The future starts today.
Welcome to a new installment in our regular series, The Future Starts Today. At the microphone, Diana Vujeu and Kalin Kotsuyu. In last week's edition, we analyzed, together with the director of the Conflict Prevention Center in Bucharest, Julian Chifu, the possible impact of such events as the inauguration of the new U.S. President Donald Trump, the UK vote to leave the European Union, and the upcoming elections in France. Today, we continue our analysis with another series of events, taking a look ahead at the elections in Germany and the Netherlands, and the situation in the German elections. Chancellor Angela Merkel will be seeking her fourth term in office. The announcement was made in late 2016 at a meeting of Merkel's party, CDU. The announcement was made amidst growing calls for her to resign, coming mainly from the hardline opponents of the refugee admission policy pursued by the German Chancellor, in particular the Alternative for Germany party. Such voices accuse the German authorities of losing control over migration. However, according to the latest data, last year saw a radical decrease in the number of migrants seeking asylum in Germany. Of Official figures show that 280,000 asylum seekers arrived in Germany last year, compared with nearly 900,000 in 2015. In spite of the significant drop reported last year, the country is still facing many challenges. The number of asylum applications amounts to hundreds of thousands, and the German government should prove that it is capable of...
Richard says in Atlanta, Georgia, S7375 is S7, and Richard Cook says that 12 seconds in delay with the audio from me to his place in the UK. Pretty cool. John Ritson, Romania is very strong, S9 plus in the UK. So pretty cool. Radio Romania in English.
Of course, this is a very important element because we are speaking about Germany, the driving engine of Europe. And under these circumstances, the situation is even more special. There is still a major possibility for the left-right coalition between the SPD and the CDU to find a way for Ms. Merkel to stay on as chancellor. We've also seen a rise of the far right. However, we shouldn't count our chickens before they are hatched. We have seen on many occasions, such as the Brexit and the US election, that things don't always turn out as planned, and we may still yet see some surprises.
Legislative elections will also be held this year in the Netherlands, where, as a result of people's discontent with the way in which immigration has been handled, the populist far-right Party for Freedom is leading in opinion polls. Its leader, Geert Wilders, then read an election program promising the de-Islamization of the country and calling for the mosques to be closed down and for migration from Muslim countries to be banned. The publications Die Welt and Express note that the pro-tech political program also provides for the closing of Muslim schools and the burning of the Quran and of the Islamic veil. Dutch elections are important for Bucharest, first and foremost with regard to Romania's accession to the Schengen passport-free area. Initially scheduled for March 2011, this has been postponed several times, mainly as a result of the Netherlands' firm opposition, despite the fact that Romania had fulfilled its accession requirements. We asked Iulian Chipu if anything might change in this respect.
Din punctul acesta de vedere, nu sunt lucruri care...
The Dutch elections will most likely maintain the trend that has seen Eurosceptic parties in the ascendance, so the likelihood that the Netherlands will make any steps forward is quite low. One positive element is the way in which this country managed to find a way to solve the issue of ratifying the EU-Ukraine Association Agreement. In this sense, we might think that beyond this agreement, or the Dutch elections, we may arrive at a European agreement that could favor Romania. However, considering the situation in the Schengen area and the reticence with respect to migration, I believe the subject of Romania's Schengen accession is closed for the foreseeable future.
With regard to the situation in Syria and Russia's involvement in this conflict, political commentator Iulian Chipu said,
Sigur, Siria este un subiect care nu poate să fie închis foarte repede.
Naturally, Syria is a subject that cannot be concluded soon. We have seen that the attempts to solve the problem in the short term, to reach a truce, have failed, especially as these were partial agreements reached in the presence of a number of states involved directly or through their nationals or who control certain opposition groups on the ground. Russia is trying to impose a certain type of solution as it has done in Ukraine and Georgia. I believe this type of exceptionalist and individualist approaches cannot possibly yield.
Inclusive, says Iulian Chipu, recalls that there are still some very important dossiers to be solved.
7310, also Radio Romania International.
And the violations of human rights. You have been listening to The Future Starts Today.
Bucharest, Radio România International.
Welcome to Roots. We are Lăcănara Smion and Eugen Nasta. In the traditional calendar, mid-January marks the middle of the cold season, starting on St. Dimitri's feast day and ending with St. George's feast day. Often, the religious dimension of these celebrations overlaps with the pre-Christian rituals.
Nieredun Mezari is looking for an ICF SW7600, even if it's not in good working order. It's for to get parts to repair is broken. Maybe on eBay you could get parts or a broken one also. Hello there, John Watergate. Nice to have you on board. And Richard in Atlanta says 7310 S7 in Atlanta, Georgia. Propagation not bad. Yeah, not bad tonight.
Of the village. After the great celebrations marking the passage from the old year to the new, namely Christmas, New Year's Eve, the Epiphany, and St. John, this celebration comprises, in fact, 3 separate holidays in the old calendar.
Nope, I can't either. It's a functionality that is just blocked from YouTube, I believe, so that nobody can post links.
When lightning bolts were believed to be frozen. According to folk tradition, the first lightning bolts could be seen in mid-July. It is said that at this time of the year, St. Peter, wearing white robes and riding a white horse, would tell the wolves to attack and kill livestock and even people whenever they didn't observe the celebrations. The fact that the celebration of the Chirkov overlapped with the feast days of St. Athanasius and St. Cyril warded off traditional communities against the plague.
Saint Anthony was believed to be able to dispel curses, and his directed the tilling of the land, as people thought he could control the weather during the summer, protecting people's crops against drought. The other 2 saints, Athanasius and Cyril, were also thought to have special powers, being able to keep the plague in chains, so as to protect people against epidemics and death. Sentence in a blue color blue color background in the video.
This is China Radio International. That is from Albania transmitter site.
Every 2 minutes, and just you're getting really annoyed.
Yeah. So China Radio International from Albania in English.
Anyone who knows, I sometimes now watch them just for giggles. But they are
Yeah, it is sad, Cooliam. Sometimes it'd be cool to put some links.
Let's say a unicorn breaks into your house, slaps you in the face, and runs away, and then all of a sudden,
I would want to watch
it's all
that.
Blah 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 shoes, and it's an advertisement for shoes. You're like, that had nothing to do with anything. Like, what was this about? And you know, it's just like it blows your mind. And I actually had the chance to teach this brilliant Chinese lady some English. We were working together and whatnot, and she was an advertising executive, and she told me the reason why they do that is because you'll remember the weirder commercials. They'll stay in your head, and that's effective advertisement. And it's something that you will, you know, like a jingle, like a...
Just post it for some of you that sometimes ask. Shameless advertising. PayPal email if you anybody wants to give a little donation to help me continue on these live shows. Always welcome and very much appreciated, and thank you all for those that donated. And yep, Mad Radio DX here, that was perfect.
He is out there.
Harren, well, I am. This is an ICOM ICR 8500.
Simply saying that, okay.
And this is China Radio International from Albania transmitter site.
What they want. So we're taking this down. And maybe there should be a standard for people, for a captive audience when people can't choose.
A long time ago, Richard, I did decode some Navtex down in the long wave bands. Here we also had the Navtec transmission, I believe somewhere in the 200 I think it was 284 kilohertz or something like that. Long time. When I had less noise, I did the code Navtex way down in the long wave / medium wave bands.
Is that they only frame that sentence and put it in your head so hard that you can't shake it off, and don't tell you what it is. Or when they do tell you, or maybe you're gonna get curious, you're gonna look it up, and you will end up wanting to buy that product. That's all the game, putting that sentence in your head, so you will want to know.
It's sort of telling me a man can have a baby.
Yes.
Yes, I would love to find out more about.
Get rid of this commercial.
Yeah, so maybe that is the reason why they made it, maybe.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, if you have to guess what the meaning behind a commercial is, then I would say it was probably not a very effective commercial. And Hoyong, I do agree with you that I think bad PR is not necessarily a good thing, and that quality test groups are used by the U.S. companies to see if a commercial will have a positive or negative effect on those who watch it. I don't think that was done here.
And if I'm in the carriage myself, I would never buy that product. Oh, wow, but you made it very strong and clear what's wrong, Napoleon. And I don't think it's always the case that we need public deliberation and what kind of, or which advertisement has to be put in a subway carriage for a...
I believe there's one right now, 10.715, let's check it out. Yeah, it's not very strong, but on 10.715 right now, there's the Cuban number station operating, and there's still a lot of them, by the way, that are operating on shortwave.
We're listening to Roundtable with myself, He Yang, Brian Price, and Yo Hong Lian. That's it for today. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, at least that's the good side to long shows, Jeff. You can go back and go do something, come back. We're still on.
Over the years, many have...
Yeah, it's Prion website, something like that, PRYIOM. It's a great site, and it has schedules in real time of upcoming transmissions.
Pay attention. You must first...
7250 kilohertz is, I believe, Vatican Radio that just left the airwaves. China Radio International also on 7210 kilohertz.
All stations, this is New York Radio, time 2200 Zulu. Terminal aerodrome forecast for the period ending 0700 Zulu. Detroit, update.
You mean 10715, Bobby Burgess? Wow, 10715 audible in Australia. Wow, okay.
200 over.
Okay, well, you might buy IOM. Great, website. New York Radio, this is aeronautical volumet or weather from different cities across the United States. New York Radio, 6604 upper sideband.
Cleveland from 2200 Zulu, wind 220 at 8, visibility more than 6, ceiling 1,500 overcast. From 0400 Zulu, wind 180 at 6,
visibility 5, mist, feeling 1,200 overcast. Cincinnati, update from 2100 Zulu, wind 230 at 8, visibility more than 6, 2,500 scattered, feeling 3,500 broken. From 0400 Zulu, wind 170 at 4, visibility more than 6, 500. From 0700 Zulu, wind 170 at 5, visibility more than 6, feeling 1,500 overcast. Aviation weather, Detroit, wind calm.
What text, Cool AM? I'm trying to find what you wanted me to tell Nureddin. Can you post it again? Yeah, Richard Cook said you received 6604 yesterday, and nothing now. And Mary to the Extra says I usually get a utility on 6604. Been a while since I got Volmit. Yeah, Richard Atlantis says 5450. The Royal Air Force Volmit in the UK was audible last night down there. It's a regular. It's been actually many nights. It's been so strong here. 5450 upper sideband been really strong lately. Amazing. And also get the 5505 Shannon Volmit. Hello there, Pepperidge Farm members. The bands are actually not bad at all tonight. Really a nice night for shortwave listening. We've heard many countries, and we're surprised to hear a St. Helena Highland amateur radio station a little earlier on the 20-meter band. Pretty cool. Radio Nacional Amazonia from Brazil, 6180 kilohertz.
Do CANPED, Cadastro Nacional de Empregados e Desempregados, divulgados hoje pelo Ministério do Trabalho, no acumulado de 2016 foram eliminados 1.321.994 postos de trabalho no Brasil, o que representa a redução de 3,33% no estoque de vagas trabalho. O resultado mantém a tendência de menos demissões que contratações no mercado de trabalho brasileiro. O juiz federal Eduardo Ribeiro de Oliveira, da 15ª Vara Federal em Brasília, enviou hoje a candidatura do deputado Rodrigo Maia à reeleição para a presidência da Câmara dos Deputados. Na decisão, o juiz também determinou o pagamento de multa de R$200 mil em caso de descumprimento da decisão. O magistrado atendeu pedidos do advogado Marcos Aldenir Pereira Viva em uma ação popular. O artigo 57 da Constituição Federal veda a medição água e fica na escala média na comparação mundial.
Grupos da região de Taiwan estão divulgando notícias sobre a presença da delegação oficial de Taiwan na cerimônia de posse do presidente dos Estados Unidos, a fim de interferir e destruir o relacionamento sino-americano.
This is Channel Radio International from Albania in Portuguese, from Albania.
Firme oposição do governo chinês à manobra. Segundo a porta-voz, o governo dos Estados Unidos salientou repetidamente que somente irá convidar...
Oh no, it's just starting.
For the most part, Trump supporters ignored
6160 kilohertz CKZN, the CBC outlet in Newfoundland, Canada. Well, you know, Jerry, it's I don't watch politics here, so I'll probably watch even less the ones in the U.S. and what's happening. There's a lot of things.
goes back. It's kind of a response to the remarks that Trump has made. So
the 45th President of the United States of America.
But for those Trump supporters who came out in the rain and cold, those who feel they've been ignored politically for a long time, the crowning of their celebrity champion is their moment of change and hope.
I've been waiting 40 years for a man like Donald Trump to be our president.
Starting right here and right now.
And in Trump's inaugural address, celebrated here with cheers, it was the blueprint for his most ardent followers.
He hit every point that he needed to hit. He included everybody.
When he says it's not about whether you're black or brown or white, it's like a blanket of we all bleed red, and that's all about like patriotism for the country.
But conflict, or at least protest, is ahead. Tomorrow's Women's March is expected to draw hundreds of thousands. David Coleman, CBC News, Washington.
All I gotta say is that he was elected fair and square, and you gotta live with it. That's it.
As president.
How you feeling? Feeling nostalgic? Any final words for the American people?
As is tradition, Obama left a letter on the president's desk in the Oval Office for his successor. Before leaving the Capitol, he also gave a brief address to staffers and supporters at Andrews Air Force Base.
This has been the privilege of my life, and I know I speak for Michelle as well. And we look forward to continuing this journey with all of you. And I can't wait to see what you do next. And I promise you I'll be right there with you.
Obama has said in the coming days he plans to rest and write. The Obamas have also announced plans for their new station and a presidential center to be built on the go. Coming up on the program as inauguration ceremonies continue in Washington, clues about what to expect from a Trump presidency from people living in the shadow of a wall Trump has already built.
We have very little left for a billionaire's fantasy project. It's not sustainable.
Margaret Evans will have that story later on The World at 6.
Well, Jerry, all I gotta say is if Trump gives an R8600 to every American, I want to become an American citizen tomorrow.
If he follows through on what he's saying, which is a big if, it's
6115 kilohertz.
Programa hispanoamericano, Radio Vaticana.
This is Frecuencia al Dia, something like that, from WWCR, a Spanish language DX show. Okay, so he's giving away the R8600. Can I go on Monday to one of your to someone's in the U.S. House for the day and collect my R8600? Promise me an R8600. And wow, Mad Radio DXer says can also the R30. So wow. Now that's what I call a president.
Y esto no ayuda al testimonio del encuentro y la fraternidad. El Señor quiere hacer redención de esta humanidad. El prólogo del Evangelio de San Juan nos recuerda que la palabra vino a los suyos para unirse en su redención con nuestra debilidad, para ser puente entre nosotros y el Padre, por ser Él el nuevo Adán. La genealogía que se nos presenta en el Evangelio de San Mateo tiene por objetivo mostrar los inicios de nuestro origen, nuestras raíces. En la cultura judía era importante conservar la memoria viva de sus antepasados. Es una historia cargada de promesas, de esperanza, de fragilidad y pecado. Pero también podemos admirar
en querer demostrar lo que hubiese son. Esta pureza también la podemos observar en nuestra sociedad cuando algunas personas tienden a...
No, I didn't see it, Cool AM. I went through the chat and I don't know if I missed something or what. I didn't see it, Cool AM. Sorry.
aristocrática o de nobleza. Judíos son descendientes de Abraham y de la
Okay, thanks, Jerry. That's cool.
importante. Es llamativo destacar que en esta genealogía hay personas que no...
We will follow two simple rules.
Well, one thing that's for sure, we went on 6160 CKZN CBC outlet. Now we're on CFRX in Toronto, and all they're talking about is Trump.
Power. I got flashbacks. I don't know about you, but I'm a child of the 19th, and I was just super political back then because I was geeky and an only child, and I watched television and brought my computer. Yeah, my summer
Well, you know, Cool AM Radio, if he grabs the woman's boobs, you know what? I'm going to put a fake wig and big boobs, and you can grab my boobs as long as I get my RD600. No problem. You can grab my ass if you want also. As long as I keep my dress on, that's all I ask. Hello there, Super 20 Dan. Getting the New York Vomit in Florida. Nice. That's cool. Not very strong, but the Royal Air Force Vomit from the UK is on 5450 kilohertz upper sideband. Richard, I'm sorry. Jerry, I didn't turn the radio on until about an hour before I started the live feed. So I'm not aware of any radar jamming this morning. What frequency you heard that this morning? $20 to 80 meters. That wide? Hello there, David in Barcelona. Nice to have you on board. You are missing some great DX. We had St. Helena Island. We had all sorts of nice signals tonight. Yeah, it's kind of weird that there was There was so much jamming. I don't know. One thing that I did read that was interesting is there will be in 2017 and 2018 a bunch of new radars that are going to be put on shortwave by Russia and also by a few other countries. So I think we're gonna really have more of those radar and all sorts of noises on the shortwave bands. I'm curious, guys. I want to check out the 20-meter band again before it gets a little too dark.
With a bog antenna, we actually have quite a bit of ground. The only problem with the would be putting it out so we can support the Beveridge antenna.
Yeah, but the HARP is the antennas and the transmitters are meant to be below 6 megahertz.
KA5DLB, KT7CW.
That sounds like a great amplifier. 73's David, WA4QGA, W0YY, bye-bye.
Hey there, I-588, nice to have you on board.
WQ6 something portable, got all of that, but I didn't get the suffix over. Nicaragua, very good. WQ6W, stroke Yankee November, W0YY, good evening to you. Name here is Larry, Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. We're designators, there's no cities that anybody knows. Jefferson City State Capitol is about 50 miles away. So give you a report on the next transmission. It's not too awfully strong, but...
Hello there, F.O. Welsh. Nice to have you on board.
Q6W stroke Yankee November W0Y1.
Well, Richard, I've not... I got to say I haven't done much shortwave radio listening lately, but did not receive any unusual time signal. Actually, the only nights I had to listen to shortwave were the nights that propagation was really crappy. So...
You were number 7, Marion, and were you named after Marion the swamp rat?
Propagation is the maximum usable frequency slowly going down. Yeah, our friend from St. Helena is no longer there, but it's later at night there, and also I'm not sure that now propagation is probably making it in the darkness path from there to North America. That's why I was curious. I did check just for the fun of it. Well, Jerry, if that's a punishment, Putin and fin du monde, I won't listen to shortwave often. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool, Am. I'm gonna check it out and check that out in a second here. Email. Here we go. Okay. So let's check it out. Okay, Free Music Radio. Here we go. Okay, Google text with text. Okay, Nirudin Mazari pour le Sony 7600. Il y a un lien, Stéphane, stephan.win31.de. Si tu Google, parce que c'est en allemand, ici je vois que c'est en anglais aussi. Il y a de l'information complète sur le Sony 7600. Si tu peux m'envoyer un email à official SWL channel à gmail.com, ce serait plus simple, je pourrais t'envoyer le lien. Mais c'est vraiment beaucoup d'informations sur le Sony 7600. Hey teacher, leave those kids alone. So yeah, Harp studies the effects of ionosphere and all sorts of propagation phenomenon. DX was DX is now he's outside, but for half of the show he was sleeping on my lap while I was doing the show. And I didn't want to take the camera because I had to move him, and he was so nice sleeping on me that I just left him there like that. But now he just asked for the door, so he's outside taking a little walk. Not too cold outside right now, so it's not too bad. I had DX registered for a little medal because there's a new law here now. Every cat needs to be registered with the city, and what I'm going to do this summer, but there's a new law also that if my cat goes on the lawn of the neighbors, it's a $700 fine, and I find that completely idiot. But anyways. Well, see what I can do this summer because he goes all over the place, and I can't really see myself tying him to a leash or something. So we're gonna see. Now it's winter, and with the snow, it doesn't go very far. But man, this summer, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Avant tout,
WTWW from Lebanon, Tennessee, USA, in French 12105.
supplier et le remercier pour tous les êtres humains. Il faut prier pour ceux qui nous gouvernent et pour toutes les autorités. Alors nous pourrons mener une vie telle à Dieu luisant bien. Voilà ce qui fait, il y a.
Saludo cordialmente a los peregrinos de lengua española.
WEWN 12050 with some kind of transmitter problem. There's some distortion on their signal.
nuestra esperanza no se ve defraudada. En esta semana de oración que hoy iniciamos, pidamos insistentemente al Padre por la unidad de todos los cristianos. Que Dios los bendiga.
Once again, Brazil on 11780.
Están trabajando en ese sentido para llevarles a ustedes al
Radio Havana, Cuba 11760.
Todos mis amigos la están esperando. Cuba. En estos momentos estamos repasando algunas obras, algunas piezas del grupo Montaba. Les decía inicialmente una emblemática agrupación cubana que, bueno, pues dio la luz alrededor de los años 70 y tantos. Y estos temas son precisamente un repaso, un recorrido por el folclore latinoamericano y también algunos temas cubanos como parte de todo el trabajo del Caribe que se hace en esta agrupación. El grupo Moncada, me reitero.
Well, I just noticed that I sent emails to everybody with the wrong link to the show today. I gave the link to my my Windows channel instead of the link to my Shortwave channel. I guess I was tired, or I don't know. But man, I'm looking at, okay, really? I posted the link to my Windows channel. Okay. Sorry. I guess some people didn't have the right notification. Should be okay tomorrow.
Lo hice para esta emisora. Frecuencia al Día es un espacio informativo sobre temas del mundo de los medios de comunicación y la escucha de emisoras de onda corta. Frecuencia al Día. Frecuencia al Día.
I'm Rudy Espinal in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and this is WRMI, Radio Miami International, Okeechobee, Florida, USA, and www.wrmi.net. Send us your comments and reception reports to info@wrmi.net or to WRMI, P.O. Box 526852, Miami, Florida 33152, USA.
This is Glenn Hauser with World of Radio, 1861.
No, it's not the bitch cop. It's actually a special squad made just for animals, Jerry. Amazing. Here, neutered, and if your cat is not neutered, it's $50. And so I don't know.
Cuba, Ethiopia, Germany, India.
I'll have to start a DX the cat YouTube channel to pay for everything.
USA, Vietnam, and the propagation of.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I really was like, okay. Oh man. Bye, Mad Radio DXer. Take care. It's nice to have you on board. And
Can enjoy DXing.
I don't have a Facebook channel for John Ritson for the Shortwave side, and a lot of you have been asking that. The only reason I haven't done it yet is there's so many Facebook outlets for Shortwave. I kind of don't want to, get into competition, basically. So, World of Radio from Glenn Hauser's excellent program on WRMI 11580 kilohertz.
First frequency reported January 10th at 0410 with 100% copy, including a schedule for these broadcasts mentioning other frequencies that are currently changing from 1 week to the next. 6850 5200 858.
Here it's something like $500 to nurture a cat. So, I can tell you that a lot of people are just going to leave their cat like that and pay $50 for a license instead. But personally, I like to have a neutered cat because it's less of a problem usually.
200 January 14th at 01:34 and the 15th at 01:24 with a crash start. Speaking of crashes, there's a collision between KNLS Alaska and Radio New Zealand International on 7355. Sometimes, such as January 12th at 13:03, I was hearing them both, RNZI with news in English and KNLS with Chinese religious programming. The thing is, KNLS is supposed to stop that frequency just before 1300 when RNZI takes over. On some versions of their schedule, I see that they designate 7355 as channel 51, and another frequency where they're supposed to be, 9655, is channel 61. These are meaningless to listeners, but must be in-house terminology, so maybe they mix up 51 and 61, accounting for punching in the wrong frequency, sometimes for the 1300 broadcast. Ron Howard in California, Bill Bingham in South Africa, and I have been checking for the only Angolan shortwave frequency, 4949.72 on 73. Bill says it seems to be a matter of chance whether they are on the air or not. They were definitely off the air January 15th. I was hearing them January 16th at 0406, good modulation. And an S9 signal with a time check for 506, an ID as Radio Nacional Japón.
Take care, PD0PMS. It was nice to have you on board. But you know what? I didn't pay for the neutering. It was DX the cat was already neutered when he was given to me, so I'm lucky. I don't have to pay for that. Somebody else did.
At 1933, although a very weak signal, measured on 4949.
John Young saying Glenn Hauser's coming into Montana well on 11580.
Another week from 6090 at night and 11775 in the daytime as of January 18th. So once again, we're wondering if they may be gone for good, but they've had protracted absences.
That's what I want to do, Cool AM Radio. Send him the link directly if you can write to me.
And Radio Australia. Marty Bigley sends some recent press about this from The Guardian Australia. The headlines tell the story, but full reports are in DX Listening Digest. It's essential. Outback workers fight ABC decision to ditch shortwave radio. That was from Guardian Australia and from ABC Online. End to ABC's HF shortwave radio service to leave remote travelers vulnerable, says tourist operator. Thanks also to Bruce McGibbon for sending that one on. And another one from The Guardian Australia. ABC unmoved by pleas to save shortwave radio service for remote regions. Here's just one quote from the last one. There is still time for the Sydney-based city-centric ABC to reverse this decision that was made without proper regard for the impact on remote territorials. The frequencies which are about to be deleted from the Northern Territory are 4835, 24 hours. At night from 0830 to 2130 UT, 2325 and 2485, and the rest of the daytime on 4910 and 5025. As for Radio Australia, they only have 3 frequencies in the daytime and 3 at night. The changeover times being 09 and 21 UT, starting at 21 on 17840, 15415, and 15240, and then starting at
Well, on the VOA Voice of America calendar, I received an email saying that when they were ready, they should ship me one. But I have not received anything yet. But I have seen a lot of people receiving a very beautiful desktop calendar from KBS World Radio in South Korea.
However, it varies from one day to the next. Sometimes the broadcasts appear. In between, there will be rather hysterical from 16 to 17, but on one occasion it was only him instead of Biafra. As of January 13th, anyway, operations seem to be in order, with Radio Biafra at 1500 to 1601, and 1800 to 2000, and Brother Stare from 1602 until 1800. Reports in the Rádio Escudas group in Brazil from Paulo Welby Garcia and Jean José Silva indicate there is a crisis at one of Brazil's major medium wave stations, the 100 kilowatt on 1280 Super Rádio Tupi in Rio de Janeiro. The journalists working there have not been paid for 6 months and went on strike. And they think there is also an ownership crisis that's likely to be sold and consequently change its identity. Some Canadian radio news from Dan Sis at IRCA DX Monitor. Granted, is a new station in Edmonton, Alberta for the currently vacant frequency 580 kilohertz. This one will be commercial, 10 kilowatts full-time with a South Asian format, call sign CHBA. Also granted, a station in Brampton, Ontario on 1350 CFKA. As for 600 in Vancouver, BC, granted for a 10 kilowatt full-time South Asian format.
Let's check out 6930 for apparently a pirate station. Nothing on the pirate side here. And welcome back, David.
680.
So this is Glenn Hauser's World of Radio on WRMI 11580.
They're supposed to go north, not south. And on 750, mixing with KOAL in Utah, was CK750 or CKJH in Melfort, Saskatchewan. From the alt.radio.networks.cbc news group, Mike Cooper forwards a post from Dan Say about the new season on CBC Radio 1, including return of Terry O'Reilly's very entertaining show, Under the Influence, exploring the crazy world of trademarks. It's Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. local time. We reported that Radio Triunfal Evangelical, powered in Chile, had reactivated for Christmas on 5825, but Claudio Galas in Chile on the Condiciones says it's still on the air in January, heard on the 11th, with a lot of fading between 2312 and 2359 UT. On January 15th, Ron Howard in California says it has been about a sesame month since Ganan PBS, China, went to a new frequency of 5 instead of 5970. It seemed rather a long time to be just an error in frequency, so is it a permanent change? There's a variety of music in Chinese. January 15th, that's...
Here I tried earlier, Richard, but Greece is not very strong on 9420 here tonight. Greece is very, very weak.
That's a well-known Cuban spy number frequency. It's supposed to be on 11880, where there was no signal. Obviously, yet another mix-up. Facilitated by sharing the transmitter between the broadcasters. In BCDX, Wolfgang Bush will no longer hearing CJB direct from Ecuador on 6050. It used to be on the air exactly until 0500, including they were trying German for a while, hoping to be heard in Europe, I guess, especially since the person running in Ecuador is a German, Horst Rosiak. However, he got a reply from Horst saying that their schedule is now signing off at 0230 instead of 0500. And they sign on at 9:25 in Quechua and 1100 in Spanish, playing the national anthem both times. But they're also off the air during the daytime between 14 and 21 UT. With Anguilla off the air from 6090, we're clear to hear an other countries, such as Amhara Radio in Ethiopia. Jose Ronaldo Xavier, JRX in Brazil, reports to Hardcore DX, hearing that January 16th at 04:22. Frequency was even in the Amharic language, lots of fast music, no interference from other stations at that time.
So, hey guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 40 minutes, which isn't too bad. I am going to say bye-bye for today because I am a little tired today. I don't know, I didn't sleep well last night, and I want to take it easy. So I'm going to cook myself a little food, but I'll continue probably listening to some Shortwave and posting maybe a few things on Twitter. Thank everybody for being here. It was really cool today, as always. Tomorrow we have a show at 2000 hours UTC. We will be here 2000 hours UTC. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will continue our discussion on solar activity and on propagation, and talk a little more about propagation, because a lot of newbies and even some more expert ham radio operators don't necessarily always understand propagation well. So we're going to continue tomorrow. So thanks everybody for being here. Always cool. See you tomorrow, and hope you enjoy our shows. And remember our little PayPal address if you ever want to drop a little something that helps us continue. So take care, everyone. Have a good night, evening, afternoon, day, depending on where you are. And see you all tomorrow at 3 p.m. Take care. And no problem, David. I understand that we can't always be there. Same thing for me. So bye-bye and take care, everyone.